The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
All right, back on the Domino's post-game report as Carson-Newman falls on senior day to the Catawba College Catawba Indians, 24-14. Adam Cavalier alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Clowney. Mike, a frustrating one. After multiple weeks of improvement, felt like the timing belt, your carburetor, something was misfiring today. Those provided some frustrating moments. 8 live ball penalties, no doubt, provided some frustrating moments today. What did you see from your team battling through some things today against the Indians?
I thought, it's like you talked a couple of weeks we've been playing, since Newberry with fairly decent energy. And I thought guys have kind of been responding pretty good. Today was probably that wasn't the case. And, anytime you look at that situation, then I got to look at myself at some point, during the week. I thought we had a pretty good week, but at some point during the week, us as coaches, we didn't do what we needed to do to get ready. And then, even from a player standpoint, we probably didn't respond to this one the way we needed to. We got our back against the wall and, kind of ran out of time getting ourselves out of it.
Pretty even game on paper, less even on the scoreboard. Had 2 trips in the first half with the football inside. The 20 on 1, credit Catawba, stopped you on 3 tries inside the 3 on the second. Penalties killed your possession. Just how impactful were those moments to the outcome of this game?
Major impactful because that's early in the game. Like, you get the score, you keep it even. And, you give yourself a little bit of momentum, on a day that you're not playing, with all your cards the way that you need to. And so we really needed to be able to get that done, but we didn't. And so then we get down there again and got a chance to kind of put ourselves back into a similar situation. And, penalties, we let our, composure kind of get to us at points and times today. And, we just didn't handle things the way that we needed to win a tough football game.
What lessons can be learned from this game as you head into the offseason? You honored 24 seniors today, but only 3 of those guys are starters. What are the takeaways that you can apply from this one into the offseason?
We're just super grateful for the seniors that have been here. They've going through this program that they've endured, and just listening to them talk to the team this week, to where they talked about the things that really define and exemplify what we're doing here. Which is love, and it ultimately is like that love in Christ. And so, like, that part of it, we've got to continue to grow and develop that part at that point. And then I think we got to use that to really go back and look at the game. This game is kind of indicative of the other games that we struggle, when we create a lot of problems for ourselves, where we talk about the penalties, just not getting ourselves, a lot of times the hold is just one step.
Mm-hmm.
You get that step, then you don't get the holding penalty. And so we've got to look at, refining some things from a detailed standpoint and trying to understand like why those things happen, and then respond to get the right answers to get them fixed.
To sum up the year, did some things that haven't been done in a while. Just the 5th season for Carson-Newman this century, where you have a sack in every game. Defensively, suppose this team is starting to take the visage of its head coach with an aggressive mentality. Did some things through the air with no Braxton Westfield on this team. Jalen Washington, Jeremiah Carroll, Jerron Newsom, all very involved in the passing game as the season wore along. What positives do you take away from this group? It feels like this year's 5-6 record is a touch better than last year's 6-5 record, even though that may seem counterintuitive, just because of how this team performed, losing close instead of losing in blowouts.
Yep, I think that's your thing. When, like, there's paper, and then us as coaches, we always talk to our guys about not necessarily looking at what's just on paper, but you're looking at the whole story. I think the things to be proud of, all those receivers that you just mentioned, like, they're all first-year guys here, and they've got a lot of football to play, and I think they'll just continue to get better. I thought Zane finished the season well for us, in a situation where he come out and perform. Up front, like, you look at that the offensive line on just sticking with the offensive side of it.
Yeah.
Like, they're all super young guys. I think over this term, I think we played probably about 3 or 4 freshmen on the offensive line. Defensively, every one of those guys. You got a couple guys inside with Jaheim Wilson, Jordan Wilson, and Justin Triplett, those guys are out, but the shell of that entire defense, it returns. And so, I think there's a lot of things to look forward to.
This one, you fought to the end. You're down 21-0, but put up 14 points in the fourth quarter to make it interesting late. What did you see from your team as it fought to recover from that 3-touchdown hole?
That stayed consistent with these guys. They've had a never give up mentality the entire time. So that kind of stayed true throughout this game. And when those things happen, that's a tale of that's who you are. And so that's something that we continue to work to build on. And then, like I say, and then just minimizing the other little stuff that gets us in trouble. Adding that stuff, that fight. Now we just got to go fight, and not put our backs against the wall. So we have to fight that way as much. I mean, it's just you look at this game, and we converted a ton of third and longs, and so that's the fight there. But if we do a better job first and second down, then we stay out of that.
Turn your attention to the offseason. Next steps for this football program as it turns toward signing day and getting ready for a 2024 season that will be here before you know it.
That's what we always talk about. There's really no off season. It's just transition season. So, we're just transitioning into, they've got to finish up. Our big thing right now is to make sure they finish strong in the classroom. Us as coaches will head out on the road and start trying to replace some of these 23 seniors that left today, with other quality athletes that'll give us a chance to continue to be successful down the road.
All right. Unfortunately, it's not post-game after a win, but we do have, for Carl Torbush, some cheer wines, his favorite beverage.
Okay.
All-American from Carson-Newman football and baseball, who we lost earlier this week. So he is from Catawba country originally, moved to Knoxville when he was 11 years old. But Carl, loved, missed by all of us here at Carson-Newman, as well as Roy Hill, two Hall of Famers who we lost this week. Mike Clowney, pleasure as always. Thanks for your time all season long.
Thank you.
That's Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Clowney. We'll wrap things up on the Domino's postgame report with a look at the ShopSeeingEagles.com sack scoreboard after these messages on the Eagle Sports Network.
Don't know what to wear?